What's going on, guys? Zuco back with another Dragonflight video. How are y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. Grab your coffee. We're going to do a dungeon preview. This is so much fun. I haven't done one of these in so long. Oh my god, I'm so excited. There's new dungeons. There's going to be a new raid. Everything's going to be new. That's the best time to be playing WoW, man. It's so good. We're going to give you a little sneak peek of Bracken Hollow today. Listen, there are going to be 8 dungeons we can try right out of the gates. You know, up till Mythic 0. Once Season 1 comes in, they're going to cut it in half and do that whole thing. And I know some people don't like that, but I think it's going to be really fine. Like, honestly, I'm happy there's going to be new content. I'm excited to go back and even try some of the old dungeons, whatever they bring back. I think in Season 1, they're bringing back some Mists of Pandaria dungeons, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have to see. But for today, we're going to talk about Brackenhide Hollow, and I do have a video about it. Just really quickly, I did do a physical build here. It doesn't really matter. This is in beta. I'm not even max level yet. Like, just don't. What you should look for in these kinds of videos, guys, is like, how does the build feel to play? Does it feel fun? Does it look like I'm doing like some damage? Not topping the charts. We're not min-maxing here. We're having fun, okay? So everybody just, this is not about the build, but I did try a physical build with Wind Fury, Doom Winds, focusing on Storm Strike, and then getting Legacy of the Frost Switch, which is kind of that big, the new change of Legacy, which says consuming 10 stacks of Maelstrom Weapon resets the cooldown on Storm Strike and gives you 40% more physical damage. I should say 40, right? Oh, it's 25. Sorry, 25% more physical damage, which is really kind of the capstone there. I did take Alpha Wolf as well, and I don't know if we can even see an overall. We can't really because it's not like a Mythic Plus, but you can see Chain Lightning did lots of damage, and Storm Strike and Wind Fury were up there because those are my physical abilities getting buffed by Legacy. I wonder how often Legacy was up. Not that much. So only about 20% uptime on Legacy. So I'll have to get better at that, obviously. But again, we're not really here to analyze the numbers. I just had fun with this build. I am going to keep trying to do physical builds just to test them out and see like how well they work with the talents. But without further ado, let us get into let us get into the dungeon here. Okay. Let me bring this over here, and then we'll go like that, and then we'll make this the same size so everybody doesn't lose their minds. And then here we go. So this is Brackenhide Hollow. Let me get my notes going over here because there's a bunch of stuff that you're not going to see in this dungeon because we just end up blowing it up so easily because it's normal. One thing I want to say right out of the gates here about this dungeon is that I love the layout of it. I love the layout.
I have no idea what's in here, guys.
Let me move my camera over here just so it's not Zuco from the past isn't talking weird. Okay. So this opening sequence here, you can see at the top of my screen, it says Tuskarr freed 0 of 9. So you need to run into this, the very beginning of this zone, and free a bunch of Tuskarr. There's one on down the hill here you can see. And by the way, we're doing like 30k right now. Pretty cool. You can just, some of the damage is going to be really strong. What I actually kind of love about this expansion, I'm not going to lie, this expansion is going to be like Legion, where by the end of this expansion, by the end of Dragonflight, our numbers are going to be like in the millions. It's going to be really fun, and I love seeing big numbers, so the stat squish is going to be coming in the next expansion, I'm sure. But the point of this first section is to kill these mobs and free as many Tuskarr as you can, i.e. you need 9. There are more than 9 Tuskarr that can be freed. So you get to choose. See, let's take a look right here. See all these cages? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's one over here. It's like open season here. They designed this, Blizzard did, so that you can pick whichever route you want to go, and week to week to week, depending on the Mythic Plus affix, I guarantee you that this route is going to change. So this is a very exciting way to build a dungeon. First of all, I just love that it's like an open concept dungeon. Those are like my favorite. This is kind of like your Halls of Atonement type deal, except Halls of Atonement even had more stringent pathing because you had to go kill the 2 big guys, the 2 big Goliath guys on the edges. Here, it's just open terrain. You can run around and free whichever Tuskarrs you want to free before you get to the first boss. So that's how the opening sequence works. I believe there's more than 9 cages. So this is going to be really cool to see what strategies people come up with and like which packs do they want to skip. Oh, let's go back to that really quick. Let's pause right here when we get to the map. I didn't get to, okay. So here you can see it. This is the opening section right here. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I clicked. The opening section here is, you know, before you get to the first boss. What the heck? Whatever. I'm not going to show it again. I am going to show it again. We're going to get here. I'm going to get here, guys. Don't worry. Boom. Here's the opening section before you get to the first boss here. This is all, like, Tuskarr rescuing area in here, okay? This dungeon's actually pretty big. And it's nice outdoors. Like, I just love that we're outside in nature again. Like, all the outdoor zones for Shadowlands were, like, covered in just crap. I don't know, man. Like, the Maldraxxus dungeons were technically, the, like, Plaguefall was outdoors, but it's all covered in green. This is, like, nice green grass and rolling hills and knolls that you get to bonk on the head. And it's just, like, nice to be back in nature. But bottom line is your opening sequence is here. You rescue all the Tuskarrs, pick whichever route that you want to pick. And let's get to the first boss fight. Let me skip ahead here. So we're rescuing Tuskarrs. We didn't realize what we needed to do, but the bulk of your trash in Mythic Plus is going to be in this section here. Almost all of it, to be honest. Okay, so we're rescuing 4 out of 9, 5 out of 9, 6 out of 9. Right here, we messed up. We messed up pretty hard there. 6 out of 9, 7 out of 9, 8, and here we go. We made it to the boss. So you get all 9 Tuskarr, and then the bosses are actually behind this wall right here, and they will come out once you get all 9. Now, this boss fight, once again, I'm going to try and talk a little bit about it while we're doing it, because we killed them so quickly. This is obviously a three enemy boss fight. Basically, they all do different things. So Gash Tooth will, like, do damage to allies. Trick Totem will try and heal allies and also incapacitate us, as the enemies. So she casts Earth Bolt, but she's going to try and get a heal off here in a little bit. He just did Gash Frenzy, I think. Where'd he go? He just did Gash Frenzy on somebody. He's doing it on our Hunter right now, so you got to watch out for that. He's back now. Gash Frenzy just does damage over time. We're just wrecking Rira. Now, normally Rira, so there's the interrupt I just did on the big heal from Trick Totem. They're lusting right now because when they get to 30% health, they will lust. What will generally happen in this boss fight is that once Rira, the person we're killing right now, the main boss, will gets to 100 like energy, 3 things are going to happen. The healing Gnoll, Trick Totem, will incapacitate somebody with Hex Trick. You have to break the totem that she like places on somebody that's hexing them, that's tricking them, whatever it is. You have to break that totem. Otherwise, they're incapacitated for 15 seconds. There's an ability called Decayed Senses, which is like huge damage coming out that just has to be healed up. And then there's Savage Charge that comes out, and that does like 190,000 physical damage. So you need a tank to stand in front of whoever's being targeted with Savage Charge, or else they are going to die. So the tank needs to pop a defensive, stand in the way of the charge, and then you'll be good to go. So that's kind of how that works. It's not too difficult of a fight. Obviously, we're just plowing through it here. But when you get to like Tyrannical and stuff, you are going to have to respect these mechanics. So then we work our way up here. We're going to actually work up our way up to, I think... No, we go down to Tree Man first. You can choose to go up or down, whichever way you want to go. It's up to you. So again, lots of choice in this dungeon, which is awesome. You love to see that. You get to choose whichever route you want to go. You get to choose how many, like, which Tuskarrs you want to free in the opening sequence. So we're choosing to go to the Tree Man zone, and you're going to find on the way there that you're fighting a lot of lashers, a lot of tree-related enemies, and you're getting a glimpse of what the mechanics on the boss fight are going to be. The legacy buff sort of correctly timed is definitely going to be hard. And that's what it, that's how Blizzard always likes to do this, right? They like to show you part of the boss fight before you get there. So we're going to kill a bunch of lashers. There's a big wild oak guy. I think he does the consume. He does stomp. Never mind. He's coming a bunch. Okay. Go, go, go. We're going to push forward through the trash here. Very, very cool trash. Lots of fun. Okay, here it is. So look at this guy. This guy's awesome. This guy's like one of the best looking bosses I've seen. He looks so dope. Look at this guy. I love this guy. So great. So we absolutely annihilate this guy. Here's what you need to remember for Treemouth. He has an ability called Consume. Basically, like, at a certain point in the fight, he's going to pull everybody towards him, and then he's going to eat the closest person. Okay? I think he does it pretty early on in the fight here. Already. This ability right here called Vine Whip is a frontal. You can see the beam of light coming out of him. That's a frontal that the tank has to steer away from the group. Here comes... Oh, that's decay spray? What does that do? Oh, yeah, that just puts stuff on the ground. Here comes Grasping Vines. This is his main ability called Grasping Vines, okay? Now, these decaying slimes that he spawned, you do need to kill those slimes, or you could just see them, I guess, but on like Tyrannical and stuff, you're going to have to kill them. When those slimes die, they drop a puddle for 30 seconds. So this room will quickly fill up with puddles from those slimes, but you need to manage where you're killing the slimes. Bring them all to like the same puddle and kill them there. Does that make sense? So we obviously don't remember to do that. Grasping Vines is going off. The main mechanic, he's pulling everybody into himself. And he's going to consume the closest person to him. Which I don't know if that was me. Did anybody get consumed there? Wratheye. I think Wratheye's getting consumed right now. Now, he has an Absorb Shield on him. Yeah, Treemouth begins to devour Wratheye. So Wratheye, our Evoker, is getting devoured. Or consumed, sorry. When the consuming is happening, Treemouth gets a shield for around 100,000 health. Maybe a little bit less, depending on the difficulty. You have to break that shield, or else Wratheye is just going to keep getting consumed. And I think on higher Mythic Plus, it'll just straight up kill somebody. In Mythic difficulty, there's an interesting twist on this, which is that Treemouth will consume all allies nearby within a 10-yard radius. If you all get consumed at the same time, I think you're basically just, it's a wipe, because nobody can heal you, like you're just going to die, right? So everybody has to get out of the 10-yard radius of Treemouth, except for one person. You do have to send one person to get consumed by Treemouth on Mythic difficulty, or else he will enrage. And his enrage will give him, like, double damage and 30% haste for, like, 3 minutes. So the fight's over. You're just going to die if that happens. So very interesting on Mythic. And if you get consumed on Mythic, you can't get consumed again, or you will die. So everybody has to take turns getting consumed by him, which will be a very interesting mechanic, I think, on Tyrannical. I'm really looking forward to that fight. Also, he's an adorable tree. His mouth does look like he hasn't brushed his teeth in a while, but he's an adorable tree, let's be real. Okay, moving on to the next boss. We're going south now. La la la. We're getting to Hyena Land. And the hyenas are going to be very significant for this boss fight coming up. This boss fight's like a big gnoll called Gutshot.
Oh, next boss. Okay.
So Gutshot will basically summon hyenas. These hyenas are actually very dangerous. They will leap onto allies and they will fixate somebody. When they leap onto somebody, they do massive damage and they stun nearby enemy allies, which is us. And obviously they fixate. So the tank can't, like, he just call hyenas right away. The tank can't manage these hyenas. So one way that you can deal with the hyenas is with Ensnaring Trap, which is right here. It's going to come out. It's being thrown at a player. That player happens to be me. What you need to do with this trap is put the hyenas inside this trap, because this Ensnaring Trap can hit everybody, including us and the hyenas. So if you're the person who's being fixated right now, you can run the hyenas into that trap, and it will trap them as well. That's one way to deal with them. Okay? So there's 2 ensnaring traps going off. The other thing with the ensnaring traps is that if you don't sort of deal with them, like trigger them in some way, they will fill up the room. Kind of like the last fight, filling up the room with like those slime puddles. So you're going to have to deal with them somehow. Okay? Look how many times he casts Ensnaring Trap. He's casting Ensnaring Trap like every, 10 seconds. So what you're basically going to have to do is manage the hyenas with the Ensnaring Traps. Don't get stuck yourself. On Mythic difficulty, they've made a little built-in smart mechanic with the traps. If the traps get triggered, they will rearm 5 seconds later. So if you do an immunity soak and you run like a paladin with bubble through all the traps to clear them, they will all rearm in 5 seconds. So you're kind of screwed that way, and you basically, I think, need to just make sure the traps all get dumped in a similar location, and then move the hyenas into that location as much as you possibly can. On like high Tyrannical, the hyenas are gonna absolutely murder people. The damage on in the journal looks very high. Like when they jump to one of us, they do like 32 to 40,000 damage just on that one jump. Like right now, I only have 90,000 health. So They're going to do a lot of damage. It wasn't represented very well in that fight, obviously, because everything's very, it's just on normal, but... Okay, we're heading into the last boss wing. You just saw Withering Contagion go off. This last boss fight is kind of all about this Withering Contagion disease. It's all about that. Let me just bring up the actual... what's it called? Let me just figure out what it's called again.
Can I not get Withering Contagion?
Decatriarch? Decatriarch Wratheye. So, Withering Rot. And we're all dying to it right now, I believe.
That doesn't get rid of it. Damn.
Did I scroll over top of it?
Oh, God, I'm dead.
Give me 1 second here, guys.
I'm going to die. I'll just get... Oh, that doesn't get rid of it.
It doesn't get rid of it either. So, yeah, I'm dead.
How do you get rid of Withering Contagion?
So, Withering Contagion's going off. You can see right here, once again, it's going to go off. It's literally not a disease, and it's not a poison.
It's like a serious problem.
So it just will wreck your team if you're not paying attention to it, okay? And these guys were casting it on the way to the boss. We're not even at the boss fight yet. So you're going to see in the boss fight, this is it right here. We end up fighting a bunch of trash for a second. Here we go. Okay, so this boss fight is all about managing Withering Rot. Withering Rot is essentially a nature damage over time effect that gets put on everybody. It only gets put on everybody through the Rot Burst Totem that gets put down, or the Choking Rot Cloud that gets put down as well. So you have to dodge the Rot Cloud that's here, and you have to stop the Totem from casting. So you're going to see that in a second. Watch this here. So he's going to cast Rot Cloud right away. Again, it's like a frontal that the tank needs to steer away. There's Choking Rot Cloud. He does a little thing, and then it spawns a cloud. You got to get out of that cloud. Right now, our tank, you can see on his raid frames here, he has 2 stacks of the Withering Rot on him. Again, here comes the Rot Burst Totem. It's also going to cast Withering Rot. We didn't understand this at the time. So you have to dodge the cloud and kill the totem. It's casting Rotting Burst. This puts a stack of Withering Rot on everybody. Now we have 2 stacks. The reason you don't want to get Withering Rot on you is because the boss will consume Withering Rot with another ability. I'll show you right here. Decay Strike is the tank mechanic.
Like all about rot and like disease, which is kind of cool.
So in a second here, he's going to cast it. We do it right before we come. So Decaying Strength is the big ability that he casts, and it will consume all Withering Rot that's on allies. And if it does massive damage, and it will do this to you. It will disorient you. We do end up killing her right there, but if you have Withering Rot stacks on your group because you're just ignoring mechanics, when the boss casts the big ability, which is the Decaying Strength, they will get, like, super empowered. Like, they'll start doing, like, way more damage, and you'll get disoriented, and you'll take a bucket load of damage as well. So the entire fight is about managing the Withering Rot stacks. You can't dispel them. You just have to kill the totems that are trying to cast it and dodge the cloud that's going off as well. So that's kind of how that last fight goes.
Withered bones. Ooh.
I got a little dragon riding cosmetic thing there. But that's it, guys. That's the entire dungeon. That is Brackenhide Hollow. You got the Warband for boss 1. You got Treemouth, which I actually love. He's so funny. You got Gutshot with the hyenas, and you've got Decatriarch Wratheye with this big ability called Withering Rot going on, trying to manage that. So I really like the bosses. I love the dungeon. I love that it's an outdoor dungeon. I really enjoy that experience of just like running around in the outdoors. The opening section where you have to free the Tuskarr makes it look like you're going to have agency over how you want to handle this dungeon, which is really, really cool because we haven't like had this kind of open agency, I wouldn't say, for like a little while now. Certainly, like, again, Halls of Atonement had a little bit of that, but really you're going to get to choose exactly how you want to run the opening section of this dungeon, which Tuskarrs you're going to free from which cages, and then you can carry on from there. Even after you're done the first boss, you get to choose which boss do you want to go to next, so you can manage things like Bloodlust. Do we need to have Bloodlust up for Treemouth? Okay, then we're going to do him third. Or, like, do we even lust the first boss? Maybe we save it for the second and last boss. You know, however you want to manage that. You get to choose which bosses you want to do, and that might help your decision making when it comes to things like Bloodlust or major cooldowns, you know, whatever it might be. So Really fun.
I don't
Really
think
fun.
Mary
Love this
talked
dungeon. This is an absolute winner for me. I can't wait to try this on Mythic Plus. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Let me
just
know what
give
you
it
guys
a
think in the
try,
comments
though.
down below. And thank you once again for watching. Drop a
Sounds
like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know what you think about all the Dragonflight content that's been coming up. What do you want me to cover? I'm going to keep covering all the different classes that are coming out with the class tree changes that are coming, particularly Enhancement Shaman. I'm going to keep doing some videos on Enhancement Shaman builds, physical builds, fire builds, frost builds. We're going to go through all of it, guys. Don't worry. And, of course, I'm going to be talking about the dungeons that are coming up as well as I get to test them. So thank you so much again for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one.